So I just wanted to come, we're in the lab this morning, and I wanted to come and just share some tips with you guys so you can have a pleasurable coffee experience. First time I drank coffee, I thought it tastes like mud with water. Kinda is. So just a couple of tips. One, you have 3 choices and the flavor of coffee you want. But before we get to the flavor, I gotta say this. Oh my goodness. This is probably the most important one. You have 2 types of coffee. You have Arabica and you have Robusta. Oh my goodness. If I can just sum up this video and say, choose an Arabica coffee, leave Robusta alone. Robusta is basically your instant coffee. That's the coffee to give you the jitter. Drinking instant coffee, throw it away today, please. Okay, we have 3 different flavor profiles when you're choosing coffee. You have light roast, you have medium roast, and you have dark roast. Now your light roast coffee is a brighter note, and it's usually drank in the morning. And it's the one with the most caffeine in it. The next coffee, that medium roast coffee, now that coffee is great for any time of the day because it's a more balanced coffee. You get, it's more bold than your light roast, but it's very balanced. And if you like strong coffee, but not too strong, your medium roast coffee would be the coffee to use. Now your dark roast coffee, for those of you all say, I like my coffee strong. That's what you want. You want your nice dark roast coffee. Another little thing to remember when choosing it, if you also like cream and sugar, a lot of cream and sugar in your coffee, you may want to use a darker roast or medium roast coffee because that can take all of that without watering, taking all of the taste from the coffee. So if you try to put a bunch of cream and sugar in a light roast coffee, it'll taste like you drinking flavored water, pretty much. Now this is a personal thing for me too, because farmers work very hard to produce our food and everything else that we consume. So it's very important for us to choose a fair trade, a coffee that has fair trade on it. That means that the farmers are getting their fair price for their work. And you also want to choose something that's full origin, organic, fair trade, Arabica. I think I covered. And if you like me, go with a medium roast. So now we got our coffee. Don't get ground up coffee. You want some nice coffee beans. Let me show. Oh my God. Y'all, I don't know if I'm gonna get through this show. So these coffee beans, first of all, they smell amazing. So these coffee beans are what you want. You don't want to buy ground up coffee. Coffee has a very short life. Once you open it, you got about a week to use it. Yep, I said a week. You might can stretch it out. I mean a week with the real intensity of the flavor. It starts losing flavors more and more every day that it hits air. We got air, moisture, light, and heat. You want to choose a good storage container. So you don't want something that's glass because again, light is getting through the glass. It could be plastic, but it could be a darker plastic, but something that really has a good seal on it to keep the air out. So we're keeping out light, we're keeping out moisture, and we're keeping out the air. So a lot of people will put it in a refrigerator and you can vacuum seal your coffee, and if you put it in the refrigerator, I wouldn't suggest freezing or putting your coffee in the refrigerator because soon as you take it out and that moisture just starts to build from it being in the freezer, it's not gonna be good. You want to keep it in a airtight container. Then, because we're using coffee beans, we want to get a good coffee grinder. Now this is a manual coffee grinder. Of course, they have some wonderful electric coffee grinders. This is a burr grinder. A lot of people use their blenders. You can, but you won't have consistent grounds. So you want a burr grinder. Keep that in mind, whether it's manual or electric. So you get you a nice little timer, and we'll come back to the timer. But the next thing that's super important to coffee is the water. Tap tap water is not the best water to use with coffee. Now this is alkaline water. So I like to use alkaline water with my coffee. Do I use alkaline water every day? No, I do not. But when I really want to treat myself, I use alkaline water because it gives the most smooth tasting coffee. Whether I'm dark roast or light roast, that coffee, it just balances out the coffee so well. So I usually use filtered water because I have a water pitcher. So I use filtered water or alkaline or spring water. But the point is, don't use tap water. Just remember that. So we have our water. We know how to choose our coffee. You know the difference between light, medium, and dark. You know to stay away from Robusta. You know to get you some good water, whether it's filtered, spring, or alkaline. Now we're going into the way we can brew our coffee. Now I have a French press here, and basically these brewing methods outside of the coffee, you have your coffee pot, your standard coffee pot where you put your filter in there, and that's not bad, especially if it's a good slow drip coffee pot. Those other little coffee pots, Keurig, I think they call them. I don't mess with it. I'm not gonna even get into that. I'm sure you can get you a good brew out of some of those. But I typically use the French press method, which gives it a real smooth taste. And basically, this is where your timer come in. You're going to 4 minutes. Once you let water process in here and with your coffee grinds for 4 minutes, no longer than 4 minutes, and that'll give you a wonderful tasting coffee. Now this is what we consider the pour over method. Now I have they have something called a Chemex. This is my little version of the Chemex. Basically it does the same thing, but a Chemex is like a glass shaped contraption that you slowly pour some water over your coffee grinds and let it kind of seep through speaking of coffee filter, it seeps through the filter. But this is for those of you all who have coffee machines that you use every morning. Choose the coffee filters that's natural, that's not bleached, because you got to think about it. All of that is going into your drink, and you're digesting that too. So try to choose a more natural coffee filter, and a high quality coffee filter will make a difference in the taste of your coffee. So this is the pour over method. I love this little thing. It is the bomb. It's so quick and easy to clean. So this is my version of for the pour over method. So all I do is just put it on top of my coffee cup. I put my coffee grinds in here, and I slowly pour some water, and I have me a delicious cup of brew. Today was just some tips. We were just going over some tips, but we have a wonderful coffee tasting that's coming up in November, and I'm so excited. It'll be my first official coffee tasting, but it's not a normal coffee tasting. It's coffee education. What I just gave you right here were just the little surface. We're gonna do some culture and some coffee tasting, but it's gonna be something called cupping. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna send out packets to everybody who signs up, and the first 3 people to sign up, you're gonna get something very special. So check us out. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can stay informed. If you like what you heard today, there's so much more to come from that. This is what we try to do on this channel. We try to inform those food-loving people out there. We want you to have the proper food science or food knowledge. Coffee is a science. Don't just get any type of coffee. Today is National Coffee Day, but on October 1st is International Coffee Day. So go get you some African coffee, some South American coffees. Go get something really cool to drink. Let us know what you think. All right, peace. Have a good one. National Coffee Day. National Coffee.